Hello and welcome to this Come to Jesus Daily Devotional and our Summer Inspiration series. Today we reflect on how faith, often imperfect faith, will lead us to attempt difficult things for God. Let's read from 1 Samuel 14:6. Jonathan said to his young armor-bearer, "Come, let's go over to the outpost of those uncircumcised men. Perhaps the Lord will act on our behalf. Nothing can hinder the Lord from saving, whether by many or by few." I love this story of faith. Whilst King Saul, Jonathan's father, is making bad choices, his son Jonathan demonstrates true faith. Jonathan's daring is driven by faith that nothing can hinder the Lord from saving, even by few. He has a vision of God that released him from judging circumstances by his own inadequacies. However, Jonathan is not presumptuous. He says, perhaps the Lord will act on our behalf. Interesting words, isn't it? Perhaps the Lord will act on his behalf. His faith that God can do something doesn't lead him to presume that God will do something. He's prepared to act without perfect faith. We see the same thing, for example, in the account of Daniel, where even with imperfect faith, they're prepared to risk their lives for God. We read in Daniel 3:17-18. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it. And he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up. Likewise, none will attempt difficult things for God if we're not prepared to act without complete certainty. If we wait for complete certainty before we'll try anything, we won't try anything unless we know for certain it will succeed. I imagine that we won't try much, and we certainly won't achieve much, will we? Do you and I believe that God is omnipotent and merciful, that nothing can hinder the Lord from saving, whether by many or by few? Are we also prepared to show our faith through risky action? Do you feel that God is leading you into a new venture? After prayer and seeking advice, are you prepared to act even without perfect faith? I hope we can see that true faith will act as Jonathan and his armor-bearer do in this account. We can also apply this story to mission. Do we believe that nothing can hinder the Lord from saving? Do we know that there is no one too lost for the gospel? There is no one too hard-hearted for the mercy of God? If we believe this, are we prepared to act like Jonathan and his armor-bearer and take that next step of faith? God bless you.